started my career as an architect, but I transitioned to business strategy and urban strategy development. Sort of upgraded myself for studying smart cities at MIT, digital ecologies at Clemson University, and hybrid urbanism at Strelka Institute. So I will be your guide and your lecturer today, and through this series of lectures. So when we talk about technologically advanced, innovative cities, often the images from science fiction come to mind. We are accustomed to the idea that technologically innovative cities are full of technological marvels, flying cars, enormous multimedia projections, glowing skyscrapers, bridges, and of course some unusual local residents. But what is really a smart city? What makes a city smart? Well, how do they look and what shapes them? Let's have a look at the two images on the screen. One is depicting the historic center of a European city, and the other showing a space in some new city with various innovations like in green construction and mobility. Everything is clearly present. So autonomous cars, boats can be seen. Also some innovative infrastructure for the drones delivering goods is on the screen. So at first glance, it may seem that the environment in the second image is more innovative, right? And that is indeed true. This is a project of a new smart city called Biodiverse City on Penang Island in Malaysia. However, there is a trick. The first image actually represents the most digitally advanced and smartest city of 2023. It's Zurich, Switzerland. The point here is that modern technologies allow the creation of invisible ecosystems of digital services and innovations. And in this case, the innovativeness is measured by the comfort of the citizens and other stakeholders, as well as efficiency of urban systems and services operation. So the innovation in this case lies in the application of digital technologies to the existing urban infrastructure. So to understand it better, let's break down the main components of the urban environment that could be and can be and are digitized. A city for sure consists of, at the top level, urban infrastructure. Oh, just a second. We'll switch to for sure consists of urban infrastructure and city management. For sure, each and every city has public spaces, residential buildings, some workspaces, transportation and mobility. For sure, there are parks and nature is represented, and for sure, urban economy. But all the cities nowadays and all the spaces in the cities nowadays are also connected to varying degrees by digital infrastructure. And of course, there are key stakeholders in each and every city. There are citizens, there are businesses, and city administrations. So the technological advancements has always influenced all the urban components and all the stakeholders. Also, it influenced the fabric and appearance of the cities, and most importantly, it influenced the functioning of the systems and the infrastructure. And by that, subsequently influencing social policies and urban governance. Since ancient cities, so when engineering innovations moved the urban development forward from irrigation to Roman roads to Leonardo da Vinci, who designed the hydraulic plants to create the canals through the city to transport goods. So let's start with the 19th century, when during the first industrial revolution, the introduction of steam locomotives led to development of railway tracks, and during the second industrial revolutions, when there was the industrial boom, the cities had to accommodate a large influx of the workers. They needed affordable housing. They needed social infrastructure near their factories. During the third industrial revolution, the emergence of electronics and mass production also changed the fabric of their city. It increased automation and led to cost reduction in manufacturing goods, and this, in turn, spurred the development of automobile infrastructure and suburbs. And now we are experiencing the fourth industrial revolution. We are we're in the post-industrial city with the technological capabilities like cloud computing, digital services, and platform economy. We have become accustomed to working in the co-working spaces, strolling through parks while simultaneously conducting business on our phones and ordering some delivery through the same phone. So, and urban environment is adapting accordingly. Public spaces offer Wi-Fi. Car roads are transformed into pedestrian zones, like on the picture on the bottom right. It's Seoul, where you can see the picture of the X road, which was transformed into public space along the river. And all their and creative clusters replace basically the factories, fostering some new technological startups in those cities around us. So, what are the technologies that are influencing cities, the infrastructure, stakeholders' interactions, and management, as well as the economy of the cities in 21st century? At the core of all these technologies lies the utilization of data generated by applications, our phones, sensors, surveillance cameras, and so on. The application of data-driven approaches and the management of the cities and spaces based on data using various tools like artificial intelligence algorithms, cloud data processing, it has become a crucial aspect of urban digitalization and the key to digital transformation of spaces, cities, and processes in the cities. So let's trace the history of digital transformation in the cities and the concept of smart cities. Some experts believe that the history can be traced back to the pioneers of computer data processing and the systematic approach to shaping cities as interconnected systems in the 60s. Then, with the development of ICT and Internet of Things, IoT, technology companies took the lead in developing products for cities that would help monitor infrastructure. Different tech giants like Cisco, IBM, they became providers of the services and technological solutions for the early smart cities. It is believed that even the term "smart city" was coined as a commercially convenient name for the products in this field. We will take a closer look at what they offered through some specific examples later during the presentation. So later on, focus in smart cities shifted towards sustainability, citizens and businesses' engagement and involvement, as well as the issues of ethics and data openness for all the participants. Starting from 2010 approximately and onwards, more and more countries included smart cities in their development agendas, including South Korea, China, India, different European countries, Russia, countries in Africa and Middle East. So we will discuss also some controversial recent cases of a digital city. For example, digital city proposed by a subsidiary company of Google, as well also as modern smart city, the line in Saudi Arabia, where cutting edge technologies are actively applied right now. So let's begin with the first example. And let's start with this significant event. Um, in the second half of the 19th century, cholera epidemic broke in Soho district in London, and Dr. John Snow, he disagreed with the prevailing at the time theory that suggested that disease spread through the air. He decided to conduct additional research. He mapped all the cases of the disease in each household, and this helped actually to determine that the water from the well was the cause of the disease spread, as the drinking water was contaminated with sewage. So the epidemic halted, and the mode of transmission and the nature of the disease were identified. So this became possible only for the first time because data about space, about users, and about processes were combined on the single map. So this is the classic and illustrative early example of using urban data mapping and analysis in a pre-computer era. But the next crucial point in the history is related to the first years of computer era. And J. Wright Forrester, an American engineer and computer pioneer. Um, Urban Dynamics, created by J. Wright Foster, it's a model that helps us to understand and simulate the behavior of complex city systems. It's like a virtual city simulator, basically. Foster developed it in the 60s to study how different parts of the city, like population, housing, infrastructure, interact with each other. So basically, urban dynamics shows us that cities are like a puzzle. When you change one piece, it affects all the other pieces. And with this model, we can basically predict how things like urban growth, migration, and policies impact a city's future. So like, well, imagine being able to test out different ideas and policies before implementing them in real life. It is basically like a strategy game. So this theory, it helped urban planners and policymakers to make smarter decisions for sustainable and resilient development of the cities, and later on found its full realization with the development of digital technologies. So at the same time, at the dawn of computer technology, in the 60s and 70s, the Community Analysis Bureau, in their report, The State of the City, the cluster analysis of Los Angeles, employed innovative method to analyze and understand the city development and dynamics of the city. Firstly, they collected a vast amount of data about Los Angeles, including demographic information, economic indicators, infrastructure data, social factors, and others. And this comprehensive data collection provided the foundation for their further analysis. And on the next step, they utilized a technique called cluster analysis. Well, it's basically a statistical method that groups similar data points together based on their characteristics. So in this context of the State of the City report, they applied cluster analysis to identify patterns and groups within the city. By employing the system, they were able to uncover district clusters, neighborhoods within Los Angeles that shared common characteristics. These clusters were defined based on factors such as income levels, housing types, employment patterns, and other variables. So this analysis revealed how these clusters were interconnected and influenced by each other. It provided insights about social, economical, and demographic dynamics and of different neighborhoods in the city. And this data-driven approach allowed city leaders and policymakers to deeper understand the city and help them to identify the areas of need and guide decision-making process for urban development. So, and the next leap in the application of data and innovative solutions for cities occurred when the level of ICT development enabled the emergence of IoT, Internet of Things, in the early 21st century. So in 2000s, innovations in data collection, sensors, and also in data processing and storage allowed for real-time processing of the necessary volumes of data on one side. And also, while also it was possible to install the necessary hardware to collect the data on the other side. So Cisco and IBM quickly took the lead in these areas as they saw a commercial opportunity in installing such equipment and developing digital infrastructure, as well as the potential to increase resource efficiency and urban management levels for the urban management levels for the cities. So in 2010, IBM built the control center for Rio de Janeiro. It all began with an attempt to withstand natural disasters such as hurricanes and floods. Hundreds of sensors were installed through the city, allowing for prediction of the disasters about like 48 hours in advance. So the city, enabling the city to prepare for evacuation or for monitoring the conditions of the drainage systems, for example, in the city, to react to the situation. Also, the control center allowed to monitor the crime levels and and sort of predict the potential dangerous areas in the city based on the increasing crime rates in different parts of the city. Also, this data, it influenced urban management and social policies because they were able to understand better where the social institutions, schools and hospitals had to be opened, as well as the changes in the transportation infrastructure. So in the Rio, the center of operation, it displayed like thousands of parameters in real time in this on this giant monitor you can see on the screens, including ecological, social, economic, and transportation-related measurements, allowing us. It was possible to see their current threats and take some measures in advance. Another example of working with with an environment and working with the aspect of sustainable environment achieved completely new level with Masdar City. This is a groundbreaking project that holds a significant role in the history of smart cities. Because of its strong focus on sustainability. It showcases adaptive physical environment incorporating features like wind towers and movable umbrellas to enhance energy efficiency and comfort of the residents and the visitors. This is the city built from scratch, from zero in the desert. And the wind towers, you can see it on the photo on the bottom of the screen. It's a traditional architectural element. They are the form of passive cooling found in traditional Middle Eastern architecture. It utilizes natural airflow to cool outdoor spaces. To reduce the need for energy intensive air conditioning, basically. So this is a tall cylinder, has louvers on the top, and it is open to the prevailing winds, and it allows to bring air down into the central courtyard. And also the umbrellas, movable umbrellas, they are like sunflowers. They are strategically placed in different parts of the city to provide shade and mitigate heat, and create a more comfortable outdoor environment and microclimate for the citizens, and while minimizing energy consumption. They also close at night and release the heat. So also, for sure, Masdar was an innovative transportation system designed to prioritize sustainability with a pedestrian-friendly approach and electric autonomous vehicles powered by renewable energy. And this provides the efficient and eco-friendly transportation within the city. So this city, it's sort of pioneering approach to sustainability through technologies, and it demonstrates the commitment to creating the city, which environmentally friendly city, and also energy efficient city through usage of the technologies. And the next important step, and another completely other crucial challenge of digital transformation for the cities, was tackled in Barcelona. The rights of the citizens and their involvement in the digital transformation processes. Barcelona is an example of innovative approach to smart cities, particularly through its Barcelona Digital City initiative. This initiative revolves around two key pillars: the use of open data and a strong focus on citizens' digital rights. Barcelona recognized the power of open data and driving transparency, collaboration, and innovation. So the city has made an effort to collect and share data openly with the public, allowing citizens, businesses, and organizations to access, utilize, and the information for creating new innovative solutions for the city and in the city. So by opening up data, Barcelona encouraged the entrepreneurs and, well, basically fostered the culture of co-creation within the city. In addition, Barcelona places great importance on safeguarding citizens' digital rights, and the city actively promotes digital inclusion and privacy protection, ensuring that all the residents have control over their personal data, and also they emphasize the ethical use of technology, prioritizing well-being and the rights of the citizens in the city. So this is basically the example. Well, Barcelona became this sort of an example of inclusive, transparent, and citizen-centric smart city. And probably another important chapter in digital transformation of built environment is related to the instrument called digital twin. It was originally created to simulate the behavior of the industrial equipment, but this approach successfully was implemented in the cities. And it sort of makes this connection with urban dynamics by Forrester. Singapore stands out. It was it's probably the first example of the successful implementation of digital twin. And digital twin Well, basically, in Singapore, it has played a crucial role in urban planning, infrastructure management, and resource optimization. So the city state has created an extensive digital representation of urban environment, incorporating data from various sources such as sensors, IoT devices, and satellite imagery and surveillance cameras through the city. So through digital twin, Singapore can simulate different scenarios. This is the major advantage of digital twin. It's not only represents what's going on in the city, but also allows for simulation. Uh, and testing the potential interventions before actually implementing them in physical environment, in physical world. So this allows for more efficient urban planning, enabling authorities to optimize resources, predict and address issues proactively, and enhance overall livability of the city. So nowadays, lots of countries and cities are implementing digital twins. For example, Saudi Arabia, the digital twin, they are created on their national scale. Russia is also moving forward to this. Moscow has a very advanced digital twin at the moment. And for example, I myself am working on the strategic implementation of the digital twins in some Russian cities at the moment. So, but for sure, there are challenges. True digital twins, they are very complex systems, and there are stages of digital twin development and implementation, from just representing the information to actually predicting it. And also, there are challenges not of a technical nature, but of ethical nature in terms of their privacy and security of the data, which actually creates sort of a nice transition to the next milestone and the next project I would like to tell you about. And this is the next milestone in the history of smart cities development and implementation. Not long time ago, in 2017, Sidewalk Labs, it's the subsidiary of Alphabet, it's Google's parent company, proposed an ambitious project to transform Toronto's waterfront into a smart city powered by data and technology. However, concerns were raised regarding the potential privacy implications and data governance in this proposal. So the concept of surveillance capitalism, which basically refers to the commodification of personal data for profit, uh, gained traction among citizens and policymakers in the city. So this led to a heightened awareness of the need to protect individual privacy rights and ensure responsible data management in urban development projects. So in response to these concerns, Sidewalks Labs and Waterfront Toronto decided to terminate their partnership in 2020. And this sort of marked a turning point in Toronto's smart city trajectory, showing a, well, I would say, revelation of values and priorities for urban development. And following this development, Waterfront Toronto initiated a new project called Quisite. Sometimes they call it Quisite 2.0. Uh, and the values of the old Sidewalk Labs project focused heavily on data-driven optimization, efficiency, and technological innovations as a core. In contrast, the new Quietside project places a greater emphasis on privacy protection, community engagement, and environmental sustainability using innovative technologies. So the aim is to create a smart city that respects individual rights, promote social equity, adopts sustainable solutions to mitigate the ecological impact of this new district. So this shift reflects Toronto commitment to sort of ensure that technologies and data are used responsibly for the betterment of its residents. And by embracing these sort of citizen-centric values and prioritizing sustainability, Toronto is willing they generally enhance the quality, and they would like to actually enhance the quality of the life of the inhabitants. And this sort of this is the last. This leads us to the last example and to the new concept of cognitive smart city, which is focused on citizen well-being. So I will finish this sort of overview of the history of the smart cities with this project. This is probably the most ambitious project and the most recent project in history of smart cities, and probably even in urban development in general. It accumulates all the technological, environmental, and social innovative approaches to create successful, livable spaces. It's developed by NEOM. It's a Saudi Arabian initiative. The city called The Line. The aim is to build sustainable, technologically advanced urban environment in the desert by prioritizing livability and quality of life. So the distinguished feature of the line is its linear design through the desert, which essential services, in the city, the essential services and amenities, they are located within 5 minutes walk from any point in the city. And this layout, it promotes walkability, reduces the need for cars, and enhance accessibility for all the residents. And all the city infrastructure is built underground, leaving the surface free for parks, green spaces, recreational areas. And the line also leverages the cutting edge technologies to create a seamless and connected experience for its residents. Artificial intelligence and robotics, digital twin, and advanced data analytics are integrated in various aspects of the city, enabling smart services and personalized experience within the city. And sustainability for sure is the key focus for the city too, and it's the city aim is to be fully powered by renewable energy resources. This project is seems to be visionary, but it's right now being built, and a couple of my ex-colleagues they are working on it right now. Will it actually be successful, and will it truly create the sustainable environment where the digital technologies serve people and do not use the city and the inhabitants only as a part of the urban management systems and business models? We will see. The future will show us. And this is the most recent and the last project in the overview of the history of the smart cities development for now and for this lecture. So let's talk about conclusions regarding the evolution of the definition and evolution of the objectives and values of the smart cities through time. So first of all, the formation of synergy among all the stakeholders. In the early stages of smart city development, it was more focused on optimizing the work of city administrations and city services, and it was more technocratic. And model digital transformation of built environment aims to create an ecosystem where the interaction of all the process stakeholders is enhanced by digital technologies to ensure the creation of sustainable system and the city as a system as a whole. So it's no longer basically only about optimization, it's about collaboration. The second conclusion is that cities are no longer a subject of innovation. Smart cities right now, they provide a platform for innovation uh, by using technologies and data to drive transformative change. So they serve as living laboratories where new ideas, technologies, and solutions can be tested, refined, scaled, and address urban challenges. So this platform, they enable collaboration between businesses, government, academia, citizens, entrepreneurs, um, to sort of encourage and develop the solutions for more sustainable future. Speaking about sustainability, technologies deployed in smart cities nowadays, they play a pivotal role in achieving the sustainable development goals. And by harnessing data analytics, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, they can enhance resource management, optimize energy consumption, they can improve infrastructure efficiency. So sort of contributing to the sustainable cities and communities development goal. Additionally, technologies like enabling smart mobility solutions, such as intelligent transportation systems and electric vehicles, it also contributes to industry innovation and infrastructure development goals and climate action by reducing emissions and promoting sustainable transportation. Technologies in the cities, they also contribute to the sustainable development goals related to communities. Uh, for instance, city solutions can enhance access to quality education, healthcare, again, contributing to good health and well-being and also quality of education goals through telemedicine, e-learning platforms, digital connectivity in general. Um, this sort of solutions, the smart cities, by providing those services, they bridge the gaps in healthcare and education, ensuring that everybody gets their equal access to their opportunities. And for sure, smart cities, they and technologies in the cities at the moment, they empower citizen participation and engagement. Sort of digital platforms, they enable transparent governments, participatory decision making, and inclusion. And finally, uh, there is also the concept of cognitive environment, which represents the next stage of smart cities development. It's emphasizing a human-centered approach by integrating artificial intelligence technologies, as I said earlier in some of the examples, contemporary, recent examples. It aims to create personalized experience for residents through advanced AI systems that adapt and can learn autonomously and evolve. Uh, so probably the last part of this lecture, I will build on the trends which I identified earlier, and will overview the challenges also for the implementation of the technologies in the cities. Uh, I will end up with this sum up and overview of the prospects of the development of urban digital transformation. So urban digital transformation is witnessing this trends again, as I said, about personalization of your user experience through AI-powered services. The integration of IoT for sure continue to develop and progress automation within the cities and improving efficiency of the cities. And also development of the intelligent transportation systems, including electric transportation. It also revolutionizing the mobility and also reduce environmental impact of the cities. Again, as I said before, digital twins and simulation and testing tools, they are advancing and enabling cities to simulate and optimize urban planning and infrastructure management. Also, integration of augmented reality and virtual reality, and also metaverse instruments. It creates this sort of immersive smart spaces, enhancing engagement and interaction between citizens and their environments. And for sure, all of this, it sort of all stays under the umbrella of circular economy practices. Um, it promoting sustainable resource management, waste management, contributing to the creation of more environmentally conscious cities. And for sure, as I said before, with some recent projects, well-being and health of the citizens are prioritized, specifically considering the aging population and the trends of the silver economy, ensuring inclusive urban environment. But for sure, digital transformation faces several challenges that need to be addressed for successful implementation. For sure, techno distrust arises from concerns about surveillance capitalism and government control, necessitating robust privacy and data protection measures to build trust among citizens. The differing objectives between the public and private sectors also must be carefully navigated to ensure alignment and collaboration, necessary collaboration in achieving common goals. Uh, Also, another challenge, very understandable challenge, is about the significance of the initial investments, which are required to fund the infrastructure and technological advancements needed for digital transformation. Another aspect is the cultural specifics of the cities, which must be considered while implementing digital technologies in the cities. And also variabilities and variance in management systems of the cities and decision-making processes. It also can pose coordination challenges. So another thing is that creating this sort of massive, comprehensive, integrated systems, it's very complex. So it involves integrating diverse technologies, so lots of data sources, and lots of stakeholders, and also the rapid development of digital technologies and the obsolescence of some of the integrated solutions. It also sort of requires this agile approach um, to make the system adaptable and keep pace with the evolving technological landscape. So another challenge which still exists and had to be addressed, it's about digital inequality and ensuring the accessibility and inclusivity of all the solutions for all the population groups. So as you can see, the topic of digital transformation for the cities and the spaces in the cities, it creates lots of interesting subtopics, and we will explore those later in the series. So thank you. Thank you for your attention. I would like to express my gratitude to all the listeners. If you have any questions, insights, or you would like to discuss the subject in more detail, please reach out to me. I'm open to any conversations and collaborations. So thank you once again, and stay tuned for the upcoming discussions in the series. Because this lecture, it was just an introduction, just an overview, and the beginning. And the more exciting discussions lies ahead. So thank you again. Should I answer the question? Should I answer the question online? Yes. We have a question from Joanna. Are there any? mm, Okay, okay. So, just a second. Are there any ideas on the virtual reality cities in the future? So, yes, of course, there are lots and lots of emerging trends regarding virtual reality usage for the cities of the future, and it's already being used. For example, for there are several technological companies and startups working with the virtual and augmented reality to deal with the city infrastructure, to understand what's going on and where, to visualize it to their workers dealing with the infrastructure in the city, to make the processes at least 30% more effective in terms of timing and in terms of the efficiency of the actions taken. Also, there is another aspect, and there are also several companies working in this direction. It's about the virtualization of the experience of the people in the city. Uh, just an example for you to give an idea about this aspect. A company, they are working with the virtual spaces and gamification of virtual experience in the digital twins of the cities and of the specific residential and commercial buildings. So, whenever it is necessary for the residents, for example, to interact, they create their virtual spaces where everything is happening in a more interactive way in comparison with just online chats, and the experiences online, they sort of augment their real life experiences for their residents. So we have another question. What caused the earlier smart city concepts to fail, and what lessons were learned? So it is probably not correct to, I'm sorry, not correct to say that the early smart concepts failed, because they did not fail. They were just the natural stage of the development of their, firstly, of the technologies and of the policies and approaches to those technologies in the cities. Because, again, as I said, it's a very tricky question, and there are challenges in implementing technological solutions in the cities that are city policies and the policies regarding the technologies, emerging technologies. It's very tricky to implement those and to be on track, because to be on track and keep up with those technologies in terms of the city policies, because analyzing the existing technologies and emerging technologies, creating some policy frameworks for those technologies for the cities to implement them correctly, ethically, in the cities, it takes time. And sometimes the technological companies and some companies within the cities, they are eager to implement those technologies, and that's why this consciousness about the rights of the citizens, the environmental aspects of implementation of those technologies, they started to be considered in the well, approximately 2010 and onwards, but even earlier probably. So it all evolves, and all their first smart cities, they didn't fail. They just were on the stage of their concept where they had to be. For example, just a personal example from my personal experience. I'm right now working with the smart city project, which right now is going through the stage of reevaluation of the goals and values they were implementing when they were developing the city. And mm, they are right now on the track to change the strategy and upgrade whatever they have in terms of infrastructure according to the new goals of the city development. So it's an evolving system, and it is not possible to create an ideal smart city. It's more about the way, the process of evolution and transformation of the city than about achieving some defined goal. So we have another example. Another question. I'm sorry. Are there any cities nowadays that are considered ideal and serve as an example for all other cities in the world? Oh, that's a very tricky question. Because the concept of an ideal city, it exists well for centuries, and this idea, this goal of the humanity to reach the ideal city, it always has been with us, and each and every generation with its ideology and its technologies create this picture of an ideal city, and they tried to achieve this city. For example, in the end of the 19th century, during the industrial boom, the belief in this industrial city, the beliefs, they were so strong that the idea of ideal city, it was more about this very heavy industrial city where everything works like a machine. And for example, Tony Garnier created this concept of the industrial city, which probably for us nowadays would seem like well, at least not livable space, because it was again very industrial, full of factories. It was it was it was focused on creating the infrastructure for producing and delivering goods, not for their citizens and not for the well-being of the citizens. This was their secondary thing, as their citizens were perceived as their power for their factories rather than their stakeholder of the city development. So the idea of ideal cities, this idea, each and every generation has this idea about their ideal city. And right now, probably due to the evolution of the humanity goals, as I said, you can actually see it through the history of the smart cities. It sort of evolved from very technocratic to systematic to very to the cities oriented to and focused um, on sustainability, on inclusivity, and on human well-being. And probably right now, to answer your question about is there any ideal city, there are lots and lots of uh, lots of different rates. You can read online each year, like this is the best city of the year. This is top 10 best cities and most livable cities in the world. And this is the happiness rating of the cities over the world. And these are the top 10 cities. And it's these rates, they all the time changing according to the technological changes and the values changes. And that's why we don't have any ideal cities, and probably uh, it's for the best, because we are evolving, our values evolving, our technology is evolving, and while we are trying to achieve an ideal cities, we evolve. So yeah, thank you, Dmitry. I see your comment. So probably these are all the questions at the moment. So please stay in touch and contact me in case you have any further questions. Thank you, everybody.